Welcome to the Tequila Time Podcast. I'm so excited to introduce to you my guest today, member of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Ms.NFTy.
Hi.
Hey, Ms.NFTy. Hey, how are you doing?
I just want to be cool like you with my ape on my head. So I'm going to get there.
Yeah, like it's an awesome thing. It's very unique. I mean, to turn up online as your ape, and I think it is the future. You know, I think online identity is super important, and we'll go into that in the middle of the podcast. But I really want to start with understanding your story. Like, where did it begin for you? How did it all begin getting into the Bored Ape Yacht Club?
I got into Bored Ape Yacht Club right after Mint, probably about a month after Mint. And it was after selling one of my V friends, and it sold for like 30 ETH or something like that. And I was like, okay, now I can go shopping for some other things. What's out there? And so, of course, BAYC came up. And at that point, I think they were, I don't know, maybe they were at like 20.
Yeah.
No, maybe they were closer to 15. But what I wanted to do was get a couple. So I got mutant apes and I bought 2 of them. And I believe they were like 8. Yeah, they were like 8 ETH at the time. So I got 2 of those. And then I invested in some other projects. But they were the most exciting in terms of the community that I saw when I was doing my research before buying. They seemed like a very in tune community with culture and fun and liveliness. And that just really excited me to get into a community that was popping, like to me, like what I could relate to, that liked to have fun, that also did business. And, you know, it excited me a lot.
That's amazing. Like, that is such a cool story in the way to enter the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like, to be able to sell a V Friends for 30 ETH, that's pretty incredible. You know, like, times have changed since then. We're no longer in like a bull run, and NFTs are not worth what they were. So, like, it's amazing that you were able to join the yacht club at a time where it wasn't at mint, you know, because everything got a lot more expensive. It was much more difficult for people to have an entry point. So to be able to come in from a V friend, and was that one NFT? Was that one V friend? That's amazing.
I minted 4 V friends, but I minted one of 1 V friends, or like a one of 3 V friends. And so I sold 2 of them, one for 30 and one for, I think, like 27 ETH. And then I kept 2 at that point. But that allowed me to invest in other projects.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. Like at what month was that? Can you remember? Like around what time?
Maybe June of 21.
It was an incredible summer. Yeah.
It was either May or June. I can't remember when V Friends launched, but it was within the 6 weeks that I minted, I sold.
It was probably a good choice. I haven't checked V Friends Floor, but the opportunities that come with becoming a Bored Ape Yacht Club member or Mutant Ape, like being able to stake, being able to attend events, the connections and the ability to sort of almost slide into DMs and be trusted just from your profile picture. Like, there's certain things that no other NFT project has managed to reach. And the connections that we're able to make just by being in this specific club is amazing. Like, part of it to me feels a little bit unfair to people because, you know, there's amazing people throughout each community. You get good and bad people everywhere. And I'm not saying all apes are wonderful. You know, I'm sure there's and bad apples, but like we're in a very unique situation. We're able to build brand from something that's been built for, you know, not very long. You know, the time period from when Bored Ape Yacht Club was born to now, so many community members have built upon their IP and used it for cool stuff.
Oh my! Like, when you say about the community and being able to just go into someone's DMs, it's not just the DMs, right? I was in an airport wearing one of my hoodies, and a guy came up to me, and he was going to Hawaii, and he was like, you know, hey, I'm Ape, blah, 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 blah. If you're ever coming to Hawaii, I'm a pilot. So any Bored Ape member that comes to Hawaii, my island, I will take you on a plane ride and show you around to the different islands for free. I was like, hey, okay, like this is it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely more than just DMs. They will just, you know, community members will roll up on you when you're wearing your merch or you have your ape on your clothes. So I wear my ape, like I have Ms.NFTy on a long hoodie, t-shirts, my bag. And so people start to see that and they're like, hey, Ms.NFTy, you know, and so it's just fun to be able to have that bond effortlessly. And it's just like, hey, you know what I mean? You're like me, I'm like you. So like, let's just help each other any way we can. It kind of alleviates the intro part.
Like this mutual interest, everyone is on the same level. I see us all as equal, you know. I know there's things you can think of rarity traits and all that kind of stuff, and like the floor price of each ape being slightly different in that way, but we're all equal. And you know, from your story there, it makes me literally want to go with my merch on to every airport. And see who like you know wants to fly me on their private jet, because like Hawaii sounds beautiful any time of the year, you know.
I've never taken a plane to travel around the islands in Hawaii, so now I'm like, I'm gonna go just for that experience, you know. That's so fire. It's so thoughtful and kind. And even, you know, one of the things that I focus on, or actually what I focus on for my work, is educating and developing ways for blockchain to better serve the government and the people. And so when NFT in LA was happening in LA, we put together a summit for inner city kids, 150 kids. And I reached out to all the apes and I was like, yo, like, let's do something bomb for the kids. And so Bored Supper Club was like, we're in. We want to do board bag lunches, you know? And so they made bag lunches with the Ape Bread Company, buttered toast, ape water, had cases of the ape water there for the kids. Friendship with their ape had all cookies, matcha cookies, sprinkle cookies, chocolate cookies. Art House, Justin Fredericks, another ape. He did the animation and the layer 2 AR filter for the bags that the kids got and the t-shirts. So like when you scan the t-shirts, the apes started dancing to the Snoop Dogg track. Like all the apes really got into formation to serve the students, these kids from these inner city schools. And it was so fire to me that we were able to do that. And we wanted to, like everybody wanted to. It wasn't like, oh, you know, it was excitement to do it and fulfilling to do it. Yeah, so that's also something I love about the community.
That's amazing. I mean, again, for apes to pull together, to do something charitable, to do something for others, you know, especially those who are in younger generations or unable to, I guess, have those experiences without the power of apes coming together. That just shows the true value of this community. Like that should be sort of sung throughout the NFT space, you know, that should be like, promoted so heavily, because people need to understand, you know, that we're not as some people might think, because sometimes I feel like FUD muffins are rife in this space, and the first thing they kind of do is put people down or put certain NFT projects down, you know. And when you hear stories like that, and for example, you know, you took it upon yourself to do something amazing for others, and other apes wanted to be involved, and obviously anything that they'd already built, like Bored Ape Supper Club, and you know, everyone's making some kind of business, which is great. And for them to again come together with you to do something so powerful, you know, when you really think of it at its core, what you're doing, it is like, wow. It's something that warms my heart. It makes me smile. It makes me feel proud to be in our community, because people who are doing such great things for others, Like, you don't see that often in this world, you know?
No, you don't. And it takes all of us to execute something like that. Like, each of us played an integral part in executing such an amazing experience for these kids. And then to show them the IP in real life action, like, that was so fire. Like, they spent the day learning about it, and now you see it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And again, it's amazing because we're 2 years in since the yacht club was born, and people are still doing cool stuff, you know, powering through this bear market and putting events on and coming together and building things. And again, doing things that gives opportunity for people to enter this space in a positive way, for them to see what can actually happen when people come together. Because as much as we are animated profile pictures, yeah, especially with like filters and stuff, like, you know, we're animal profile pictures online, but there's people behind those profile pictures, you know, real humans. And for others to see how welcoming, how giving, how selfless people can be, that is a powerful thing for humanity. Because a lot of media, especially mainstream media, doesn't really shed a very good picture on NFTs, you know, on crypto even, on any of this. But there's such beautiful things that actually happen.
I think it's also something great about us being in the bear market is that it's allowing others to join the community that previously they were priced out of. Yeah. You know, I think that the floor is at a nice space right now that we've gotten so many new members of the community, and it's bringing a fresh energy that I love, you know, just different synergies, different perspectives, and getting them into not just the community, but like the DAO too. Like, there's so much opportunity there for us to build.
Oh, I wanted to just shine a light on you for a second regarding ApeCoin DAO, because you are a female and you are powerful and you applied for the recent role. And I want to ask you a few questions. Like, one, how do you feel being really a minority in the people applying for those roles? Because I feel like more women should be applying. And secondly, like, how has the experience been for you?
So it definitely felt like I was alone. Like, I was alone in being the only female running, and I felt it. So I do wish that there would have been another woman. Like, there's nothing, you know, it's a part of life, right? Like, if you're the first to do it, then you're going to have to go through these processes. But I hope in the future, other women that may want to run at the same time, at least there's some camaraderie, you know, and some highlight of that. And there definitely was zero highlight on it and zero communication. And honestly, support from other females, even females not running. And that really was disappointing for me. I would have liked to have seen more female support, female in this type of position, right? It's one position, one candidate out of 14. Like, that's such a low ratio.
Yeah.
And I did experience it also when I ran for special counsel last year. There were other women running for that role. There was more support by females during that time period. And so thinking about the two different situations, it made me feel like, oh, this role is super, super important, like a higher tier position. So people will talk about it more. But then one is below that position. So we're not really talking about it, but it doesn't make the role less important. Right? Like, each of the roles play an intricate part in the DAO operating as a whole. And so I hope future forward that we, one, shed light on all of these people that are running, regardless of the tier of the role that you perceive it as. And then two, women are more welcoming of other women and more supportive. and reaching out and saying like, hey, I know you're running. Can I help you? Hey, will you join my podcast? Like, let's highlight what is it about and how are you feeling? What do you want to do with it? Zero of that was done for this role, right? Now, I will say SSP and ads definitely reached out to candidates to do interviews and put it on Spotify. That hadn't been done before, and that was fire. I really want to give a kudos to SSP, Mr. Grumpy, and ads. That I was really appreciative of that. And so when I say more female support to female support, it's really active women that are in that DAO that can uplift the other women that are running for roles or just starting to participate or write AIPs. I don't feel that or see that. And so I want to be an example or part of being a woman that is reaching out to other women, joining the DAO and making them feel welcomed and helping them.
Yeah.
Without them having to reach out to me, you know?
For sure. Like everything you just said, like there's parts of things that you mentioned that I have memories, say, from the times I was in school, to the times where I was in a workplace, to the times where then I was a female entrepreneur, you know, making things happen, but doing it alone, you know, for the most part. I find sometimes it's obviously, I can't generalize it because it cannot be the same throughout the world, I'm not sure, but obviously I don't know the stats. But when it comes to females empowering females, I don't feel like it's as pushed or as heavy as what it could be. And on that note, if women come together and really, really raise each other up, we would power through the roof. There would be no ceiling. You know, we would go from strength to strength to strength because we would all support each other. I wish there was more of that. I do. Because I have never felt it. I've always raised others up. I've always felt it's never been reciprocated. And I'm not sure what it is, because sometimes it might just be that maybe women are less confident, you know, maybe they don't put themselves out there as much as maybe some men in this industry because it's tech, I guess.
You know, I have experienced that in terms of like working with some other females and them not necessarily understanding how to build their business in Web3 or business period. And because, you know, that's one of my strengths, I've experienced the insecurity and then secondary emotions and actions towards that. But we're here together. I don't know everything. I know a lot about this space right here, this business development, business management. And I don't know a lot about another space that another female is a master at. And so working together, coming together, that collaboration becomes the currency in my perspective. And so I want to do more of that. Any way that I can come together, not just with women, but I would love more of it with women, because I feel like we need that sounding board and we need that support system. And it feels good to be uplifted by another woman and helped. I want to do more of that, but receiving it a two-way street, like myself receiving that help and that guidance, and that other woman receiving that help and that guidance and feeling good about it versus feeling bad that you don't know what I know.
Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of what I experienced.
It is a really difficult thing to master because it takes both sides or multiple people all pulling together with different skill sets, different experience levels. And it also takes a level of emotional intelligence because people can be wild. I've experienced some crazy experiences, and all of my experience on this planet, anything great or not so great, has all involved other humans. There's a saying that I used to say quite a lot, that people equals problems. But at the same time, people can equal greatness. And it's just about getting that balance and everyone to be on the same page, you know? But it would be so powerful, you know, if there was just all of us, like, for example, you could start with the Bored Apes who are female, because that is a niche community. You know, we've all got a mutual interest in the yacht club at the
Yeah.
Swamp.
Yeah.
And we've all got this mutual, I would say, level of mindset, in the sense that if you minted and you held through the time where prices went to 500,000 and you're still holding, it takes a certain mindset to scroll past that email and say, nah, I'm not gonna sell.
That offer.
Yeah, and then there's also another side to look at it. When, if anyone spent any level of thousands of pounds or dollars or whatever it might be, anyone who spent a certain, you know, amount of money and still held, you know, or got in at the top and held, that is also a certain belief system in this community and in what this business is. So it takes a certain kind of person. Now, you would assume that most people in our community must be on a similar mindset or a similar level. But again, to be able to work together and come together, it takes people to make effort, to put energy into it.
Yeah.
And that's the difficult thing, is time is our most valuable asset. And sometimes people don't put the time, you know, and if they do, it's about the quality of what's being done in that time. So there's a lot to it, but I would love to see a lot more females engaging with females, uplifting females. Like, we could be so powerful. You know, crypto Twitter wouldn't know what's happened. Elon would have to like announce something about it because we'd be breaking Twitter.
Yeah. I definitely know. I mean, I see Sierra always creating amazing work, especially for, and not especially for, but definitely for women in the space.
Yeah.
Like when I was putting together the Ladies of BOIC Malibu retreat, she did like the whole sweet artwork for us. So that was fire. And for the DAO, she's done a lot of amazing artwork for the elections and just to get information out there. And I have recently seen Swicky in there participating in the DAO, like talking more. And that really is exciting to me because I really enjoy her presence when I see her in IRL. And I'm like, okay, so I feel like something's coming. So sometimes artists are not necessarily as outspoken, and you know what I mean, in these conversations in the spaces. And to start to see Swicky out there, it really like makes me happy because I think she has an amazing spirit and she's been doing so much on the ground, like bootstrap on the ground for the community. The thought of her running for one of the upcoming roles really is exciting for me.
Yeah, amazing. Like you mentioned, two very powerful females in our community. And I'm sure there's a lot more, you know, but the two you've mentioned, definitely, you know, just from you saying their handles, like I know them, you know, is they're almost semi-famous in our Bored Ape Yacht Club community. And it's because they've left footprints of their art or their presence or, you know, things they've done and people they've connected with and done things with. And all of that is a synergy, you know, and there are some amazing women in our community and in other communities. You know, I can't really dismiss the fact that there's great people throughout the NFT space.
For
You know,
sure.
my goal is to connect with everyone, as many people as possible. And when I've interviewed enough Bored Ape Yacht Club members, then we'll move on to other communities. And
Okay, so that's a good door, like segue to talk about the DAO, in the sense that yes, the DAO is ApeCoin, but the DAO is not just BAYC. The DAO is about the ecosystem of ApeCoin and the culture, right? There's been a lot of spaces and talk recently about what is the DAO for, and it's for giving grants and about the culture. So the DAO embraces everybody that is a owner, a holder of ApeCoin, regardless if it's one ApeCoin or a million ApeCoin. And so I think that maybe it's a great opportunity for us to create a group, just how there's a group for BAYC owners that are women, but maybe of ApeCoin holders that are women, and what can be built, because now we're not excluding any NFT project. It's across the board. Are you Meebits? Are you 10KTF? Are you CloneX? It doesn't matter. But if you're holding ApeCoin, how can we come together and put our pool of information together and develop some amazing things together? So I think that now we have an even bigger opportunity to work with other women that have different perspectives, because they're in a project that has a different culture, and tie it in together. And then that gives us like amazing other ideas that we may never, ever have thought of before.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much potential. There's so much potential to grow and to collaborate and to create synergies throughout different communities, different people. And like the more minds that come together, the more an idea can blossom. Nothing can be built from one person. Nothing great.
It takes like a village, literally, or it takes a community.
Yeah, exactly. We are a village. It does. It does. It takes multiple amounts of minds, and there's something incredible about that, because you could have this idea, yeah? Like if you're anything like me, I have way too many ideas. I'm constantly creating notes and lists. I can't sleep without having something I can write on or note down, because if I have an idea, it's like I can't sleep if I don't note it. And I have ideas all the time. But on that note, you could have loads of ideas, hundreds. But if you haven't got the right team of people to put your idea into practice and to action something, it's just an idea, and it becomes this dream that never happens. To make your dreams happen, to blow your own mind, you need a community. You need people. You need people with the same vision, where there's a collaborative effort to get to a certain point. That's the secret sauce, is people coming together and building cool stuff together. Like in your world, what would you say is your vision, in Web3? So leaving aside Web2, if you could build in Web3, what would your perfect vision be to where you wanted to be in a few years?
For what it is that I'm building, streamline Web3 education that's accessible to everybody. Because that means to me, if I have implemented Web3 education to students worldwide, so kindergarten through college, that means I'm a part of cultivating our future builders and change makers. And that to me is going to change the world, that will last longer than my life.
That's incredible. Yeah, knowledge is power, and knowledge is nothing unless it's shared. So that's beautiful. And the children, the next generations, we need to set a standard, and we need to carve something where they're safe in this space, where they're educated in a way that's true, and it's not bias. It is just what it is. The knowledge and the education is not in a way to divert their brains to be, brainwashed in a certain way, to sort of be a certain way, like most school systems. If you can educate the next generations, there's so much opportunity for them, because this space is so new. It's at the cusp. It's right at the beginning. So much opportunity.
And so that's why we have to make that education accessible to them, because it's not right now, and no school is prioritizing Web3 education. And by the time these kids turn 18 and get to college, they can be screwed all over again. And instead of having an opportunity to be a builder, they're going to just be a consumer. And then that wealth gap we wouldn't have impacted at all. I think we, as today's builders and today's change makers in Web3, I think that we have a social responsibility to do something about it.
Definitely.
Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, no, it's fine. I was just going to say, I think there's a bit of a delay now and again. It might be the internet. I've lost what I was about to say, actually, because I was going to go down a different route.
E.T. Okay, help out. Help her out.
E.T., tell me, what is it? Yeah, it's coming. It is coming to me. I can feel it. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, because technology changes so quickly, this space moves so fast that whatever they're learning in school, they could learn for the next 5 years. But then by the time they leave and they go into the working world, they might not know the right information. Because
Right.
if anything, it's a world now for artists, developers, coders. They need to be able to create services, really.
Yeah.
If they can become the service providers, who are then the ones that are really needed, then they become the business owners rather than the, floor operators. And that's powerful if you can create that kind of system where if they want to, they can learn for the next 10 years of changes sooner than what the actual schooling system will provide, because they're probably not going to change their theory much.
No, I think, right now from what I've seen, these schools care more about the test scores than anything. And so we have to find a way to be creative in providing these tools to the kids. But we're working on it. We're working on it, though. So we're making
it. You're making it happen. Let's go.
Yes. I'm so thankful.
Yeah, because I find with school in general, it really does diminish creativity. There's a block there because it's more about repetition, and learning to remember. It's more memory based. What can you remember than, what else is out there? So, yeah, I'm not really for, the usual education route. And I also don't think that people should stop learning once they leave school.
Life is about lessons and learning literally throughout our entire life, whether we're 50, 20, 60, 80, there's always something that we're going to be learning, whether we like it or not. We're going to get these lessons for sure. But yeah, I think having various communities come together with the same mission, which is educating and onboarding the youth, our future builders and change makers, will make the impact that much stronger, and we'll be able to execute it that much faster. So, for example, Gary Vee had VCon conference, and I asked him if he would sponsor us taking high school students, and he said yes. So he gave us tickets to take 30 kids from a city in Indiana and bust them into the conference. And a bunch of apes came together for taking these kids to VCon and helped me really execute something beautiful. And even Bored Coloring Book provided all the coloring books for the kids because they had over a 2-hour bus ride into the conference. And Bored Supper Club again showed up and showed out. Danger, a mutant ape, he came in and brought in other community members to make sure we had lunches and a really good experience for the kids, so that I wasn't running around with a chicken with her head cut off. It was a team effort. and it just is another example of being able to come together and make something magical happen for our youth.
I love it. And I love that Gary Vee got involved and he didn't say no. I love that he was open to helping in that way, because
he's an ape too.
It's amazing.
So it's
I love it. I love it. And that's such a beautiful thing, because again, look at the door of opportunity that you opened for those children. I love it. I love everything about it. And we just need more of that.
The teachers were all onboarded, so they all had their wallet set up a week before. The kids had their wallet set up a week before. They had the full Web3 experience.
I love it. It's so powerful. It's so beautiful. It is what Web3 is, because Web3 can be the beautiful thing that everyone is searching for in this life. It's just Web2 dominated in a way where, the average person didn't win. This is a place where anyone can create anything. Everything's going to be in the metaverse. People will go to work and live in the metaverse in a way. They'll become their avatars. And then one day when AR and VR and all of the technology becomes more, I guess, user adopted in the normal sense, you'll walk around IRL with your contact lenses in, and you will dictate what other people see you as. So I could be a bird or a unicorn, for example. You could be a robot. You could be ET.
I'm going to be a unicorn.
Yeah, you could be wherever you want to be. And that is the beautiful thing. It's going to be a bit strange for people who have not opened their minds to those kind of possibilities. Some people might not like it, but for people who want that, it's going to be a way that people can become very creative and less self-conscious. The beautiful thing about this filter is that because I don't really wear makeup, but I don't need to. It's a beautiful thing because you can just sort of show up and you don't have to think about how you're going to look on a Zoom call or a podcast or wherever. It's not about looks. I'm a friggin' ape. I'm a monkey. So in my mind, I'm like, you could just be yourself and relax and you're just, whatever you are. Whereas in the real life world, it's all about filters and like how you look. Every body and face image is so important in the real world because magazines and media has made it that way. And women obviously, feel that a lot, even compared to men.
It's so hard for kids.
Yeah, it's hard. And this is a way that changes, like when people are more used to becoming an avatar. I'm trying to think of my words in right now. But when people are more used to, I guess, being whatever they want to be, rather than what society has deemed they should be, it's going to be a beautiful thing for people's self-confidence, where they get to know others on a real level because you don't have to be something you're not. And the world's a weird place, and it's not really set up for happiness and joy and relaxation. It's set up for people to work, 100-hour work weeks to just pay their bills and then have a two-week holiday once a year. Life isn't really set up to live, and that's the sad thing.
Yeah.
We go deep on that subject, actually.
Yes. And hopefully we will pay more attention to the things in life that matter, like our mental and our spiritual health.
Yeah.
Especially if we're not focused on like, what is it that I look like today? Like, let me fix my face. Like, no, like you're you and your spirit comes through virtually, regardless of what you look like in IRL. That's what I care about. Like, who are you really inside? And so like to add on to what you're saying, like maybe a part of this removes that from people's concerns because they can be their ape in the metaverse. They can be their ape in the other side, and they will then just feel their energy and their spirit and have the character of them as a human being or as an ape and not have to worry about like, I need to do my face before I can go anywhere out of the house.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Did you actually join in on the other side when we played the game?
I didn't. I think I was on travel actually twice because I end up traveling a lot. But yeah, I missed out. Did you?
Yeah, I went. I was part of Team Glacier, so the blue helmets won. So that was really cool. Woohoo, let's go. The only reason I brought it up because you mentioned, when you're in the other side as your ape or as your character, it really did feel amazing. I'm not even one for video games, but I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed Dookie Dash actually as well, even though I'm not really a gamer. I like to go to the beach, I like to sunbathe, do yoga, go to the gym. I've got a very relaxed, retired lifestyle. But those games, it was because of the community. It was because it was multiplayer in regards to the other side. It was because we were able to speak and to run around the other side together and actually, verbally communicate as well as just text. It was quite incredible how they pulled it off to get thousands of people in that space at once.
Yeah.
And what you said really is true, because I felt that. And I'm not really, a gamer, but I could be.
Yeah. If it's like that, we could. I love it.
Yeah. So I hope you make the next one.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun.
I'm trying to prioritize it. So hopefully I'm not on travel. If I'm not on travel, I'm there.
We should get like all the females together, and we should just vibe. We should like pick a spot at the other side and have like some sort of party together.
Have a hangout.
Plenty of tequila.
Yes.
Let's go. Yeah. I feel like I've got so many things I want to like ask you, and I'm conscious that, to keep your time today, because everyone's got busy lives. I would love there to be a part 2 if you're open to it.
For sure. No, definitely.
And
like my headphones together, girl. I'm gonna get my headphones together. Listen,
yeah.
Beats headphones. I need some help, please. I have technical difficulties. Would y'all please help me? So I'll be ready next. BT's got some bomb headphones. I bet you they work.
They look killer. Like he looks dope, to be honest. I mean, he's built for TV.
I mean, but he's got all the tech. I can't plug his headphones into my laptop, so I'll get mine next time.
Yeah, well, you get your headphones set up. I need to make sure mine are efficiently charged. I even think right now my camera's changed. And I think my camera cut out like midway through this podcast, so that the frame's actually changed. Yeah, so who knows? We'll just roll with it. We'll see how it goes. I'm not even I'm not even concerned.
I'm definitely we could talk about so many more things, and we could incorporate other subjects. Yeah. So I'd love to like dig deeper into it, and like this could literally just be like the preview type thing to like.
Yeah, this is the intro. This is the intro. Like we've probably got about an hour of conversation, and I want to dig deeper. I want to understand who Ms.NFTy is. Aww. And what Ms.NFTy is going to be, because I'm excited for your journey. I'm excited to see where you go. I know you're powerful. I've seen you. I've watched you for 2 years. I've been in this space and I've seen you and I've heard you. And I'm interested in where you're going to be, because I believe in you. I believe in the things you're doing. I believe in the wonderful things that you want to do. The fact that you want to help others and educate, that is just beautiful to me. And it's what we all should be aiming for, is to help others and collaborate. And I do believe 2023 is the year of collaboration. And if it's not, I'm going to make sure it is in my world. Let's go.
And next we'll have tequila shots on the
definitely. Yeah, like Nana actually brought a bottle of tequila one time on our podcast, and I was like, if I'd known, I would have gone mine. I have got a bottle there, but
okay,
it's not, next time we're doing tequila shots.
Where are you based out of?
Like you say, I travel a lot just because I don't like having a base. I don't like having a single address. And I don't believe people should die where they're born. So I want to experience as much of the planet as possible. At the moment, I'm just sort of in and around the Caribbean. I want to try and be close to America, because if Ape Fest is announced, then I'm there. But yeah, I nowhere really anchored. Just I like to travel. I like to move around. Exactly. Experiencing as many beaches and sunshine spots and tequila happy hour and wherever it takes me. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a lovely life. I appreciate you taking the time and doing this. It's very fun.
I'm having so much fun.
And if you ever come to LA, you got to stop by.
Of course.
And we could do one live here.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
I have my little Ninja Turtle over there.
I love all of your I don't even know what to call them, characters. Actually, you've got real life characters. I love them. E.T. is just beautiful. He's so cute. Like he's just looking at me like with those beautiful blue eyes. Like, hi E.T., call home. We're gonna make it.
Let's
fucking go. Tequila! Woohoo!
Yay!
It's been incredible. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I cannot wait for part 2 and see where we are in a couple of months. And yeah, and to catch up in IRL. I'm definitely meeting you IRL, Bill. We're gonna have tequila shots.
And on the next one, so have that tequila ready.
Yeah, I mean, I will. Absolutely. Okay. Shot glass, tequila bottle, we're doing it.
All right.
Yeah,
thank you.
We'll be out there. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
See you on Twitter.
Yes.